Tier's here. We're able to avoid his dash. We have our wiggle shoes on. We miss R1. Hit him with a 3. Ardio's getting the root. That's a Tier ultimate. We're gonna activate our 2. We cast our 1, but we go down. We're gonna pop our shell. We're gonna go ahead and use our ultimate. Shoot our ultimate shots. We hit Tier once. We got some good damage onto the Hachiman. Raijin's able to clean up the Tier. We're gonna rotate back, try to help this Ardio out. We get our 3 off. We're gonna go ahead and activate our 2, activate our 1, and we're able to get a pick onto the Hachiman. What a do, skibbity boo, it's your boy Shiny B Gaming, and today we'll be playing Smite's newest god, Morgan Le Fay, in solo lane. If you are new to the channel, I upload Smite videos pretty frequently. I add some commentary to a game that I've already played with the intentions of seeing what went right, what went wrong, and hopefully there's something that we can learn together. If there is something that we learn together, make sure you check out the channel and subscribe for more content. If you are a returning viewer, I think Morgan Le Fay feels like a battle mage. She feels really strong whenever you can get close, deal a lot of damage, and have a little bit of lifesteal to sustain yourself. So I think she fits into solo lane pretty well. I'm still getting used to Morgan Le Fay, and I'm also coming off of a 2-week break, so I'm a little bit rusty on the sticks. However, I felt like this game was pretty solid. So let's go ahead and take a look at Morgan Le Fay's kit. Morgan Le Fay's 1, Sigil Mastery. Morgan Le Fay summons a crashing magical sword imbued by a sigil of her choice, which is briefly carved into the ground. Enemy gods hit are marked with the sigil, causing secondary effects. The Mark of the Mind is going to fear enemies from the center of the sigil. Mark of the Body is going to create a slowing field. Mark of the Soul is going to spawn a decoy that attacks enemy gods for 4 seconds. This ability has inner damage and area damage, so you do want to try to hit both. The fear duration is 1 second, the slow field duration is 4 seconds, and the slow is 35%. Morgan Le Fay's 2, Dragonflight. Morgan Le Fay summons a dragon apparition which bursts from the ground in front of her, dealing damage and knocking up enemies. The dragon then flies forward, dealing damage again and knocking back enemies. This is going to apply Mark of the Spirit to enemy gods. Morgan Le Fay's 3, Shroud of Wildfire. Morgan Le Fay dons and sends forth a cloak of wildfire, damaging enemies and stopping on enemy gods. On expiration, the wildfire explodes in an area, leaving a 4-second debuff on enemies that continues to deal damage. While the debuff persists, enemies that use a movement ability combust, taking damage again. Morgan Le Fay gains movement speed for using this ability and can extend the debuff on enemies with continued basic attacks. This is going to apply Mark of the Matter to enemy gods hit. The movement speed is going to be 16% at level 1, 24% at level 5. Morgan Le Fay's ultimate, Consuming Power. Morgan Le Fay rises into the air, consuming the marks of enemies in front of her, dealing damage and empowering her next strikes. For a short duration after, Morgan Le Fay can fire out 3 devastating strikes of dark energy, dealing damage and providing a missing health heal per enemy god hit. Initial marks consumed increase the width of the energy projectiles. Subsequent heals per projectile is reduced by 50%. And finally, Morgan Le Fay's passive, Empowered Blade. Morgan Le Fay's abilities mark enemy gods, also activating the shared symbol on her sword, providing magical power. Once her sword has gained all 5 symbols, Morgan Le Fay is going to become empowered, gaining double the magical power buff and reducing the cooldown of consuming power by 10 seconds before the symbols are drained. The magical power is going to be 2 plus 0.4 per level for each sigil. The empowered duration is 10 seconds and the marked duration is 30 seconds. In terms of the leveling order, at level 1, we want to put a point to our 1, level 2, put a point to our 3, level 3, put a point to our 2, then we want to put another point into our 1 at level 4, put a point into our ult at level 5. We want to max out our ultimate whenever we can, max out our 1, max out our 3, max out our 2. In terms of the start, we started with tier 2 of Bancroft's Talon, and we picked up the teleporting glyph. To get to the tier 3 of Bancroft's Talon, we need 1100 gold. So right now we are currently almost at 1100, and we picked up the teleporting glyph so that way we can teleport to the lane as soon as we have enough money for Bancroft's and get a really large early game spike. We're going to go ahead and rotate to our blue buff. So the way the passive works, or the passive icon, is right now we've hit tier with our 3 and our 2. So the 3 is that bottom sigil, the 2 is the second from bottom, and then the top 3 are your 1 in order from which you can cast them. So we're going to go ahead and clear this wave, and then we're probably going to back right here. The reason we can go into Bancroft is because we're going to be picking up the blue buff. The blue buff is going to provide us plenty of mana, so we don't really need to worry about mana.
Power can be taken.
Bancroft's Talon is going to provide us 100 magical power, 15% magical lifesteal, and 150 mana. It has a passive that you gain additional magical power and lifesteal scaled from missing health. This caps out at 100 power and 20% lifesteal at 25% health. So the weaker we get, the stronger we get. Oh no, we just missed some abilities right there. That was probably going to be a pick. It still might be a pick. That's a tier ult. We survive. We're going to throw out our 3, and we're able to get the pick onto tier. Tier is actually a really good matchup for us because he has 2 dashes, so our 3 can proc on him potentially twice. Or at least he has 2 abilities that our 3 can proc on. Now that we have lifesteal, we should be able to sustain in this lane pretty well. I think Morgan Le Fay is an interesting character. I feel like all of her abilities are kind of weird casts. Her 1, you need to hit the inner damage to get the most value out of it. The 2 is kind of an awkward hitbox. It's really used for defense, but if you're trying to confirm kills with it, it can feel a little awkward. And then the 3 reminds me of a Susano 3. The ult feels very strong though. We get pushed by tier. He does have Bloomstone Pendant.
One by one, they all will fall.
Whenever we're clearing the mini wave, I found out that it's a little bit faster and more effective to just clear using the center of the ring instead of trying to hit the outer ring with all the minions. Tier blinks, he pushes us. We're going to cast our 1. We get the push, we're going to activate our 3. We want to keep fighting this because we have Bancroft. If we hit that first part of our ultimate, we would have gotten the pick right there. Tsukiyomi's here. We're probably going to go down right here. We're able to dodge his 2. We throw off our 1. And are able to clean up the Tsukiyomi.
There is much more to be done.
If we take a look at Tier's health right there as we go down, he recovered a decent amount. Tier has a lot of lifesteal built into his kit. Or I should say heals built into his kit. No, it's lifesteal because he has to deal damage for it.
An ally has been slain.
We're going to activate our 3 when leaving Fountain so we gain that increased movement speed. We picked up the lifesteal boots. I think just leaning more into lifesteal just makes sense. Nike has 3 people on her.
We will succeed, with or without them.
We're going to go ahead and secure a blue buff. The blue buff is going to provide us a decent amount of MP5. It is also going to provide us with 10% cooldown reduction. Right here we're trying to stall Tier's back so that way he hopefully misses some minions. Misses a little bit of farm. We land our 3. If he dashes, we're going to deal additional damage. We're going to try to stall his back again, but he is able to back. I do not believe that he has teleport. I'm pretty sure he has blink. So he is going to miss this minion wave. We're going to be able to push it under tower. Looking at the minimap, there's a couple of people deep in our left jungle. However, we want to stay in our lane and try to push our lead as much as we can. Right now we do have a level lead on this enemy tier. When casting Morgan Le Fay's 1, I feel like the first version of her 1, where it taunts enemies or fears enemies away from the center, is probably the best of the 3. It's also the easiest one to cast because you just gotta push the same button twice. We're gonna try to tussle right here. We try to get the slow, but we miss. We activate our dragon. We do have our ultimate. We hit him with our 3. And activate our 1. He's able to dash through it. So even though we're losing health, we want to keep fighting into it because we're gaining additional power and magical lifesteal.
We will succeed, with or without them.
I feel like Bancroft's Talon is kind of a cheesy start on a lot of mages in solo lane, but I think it's a really strong item. Tsukiyomi's here, so we're just going to fall back. No need to try to fight him.
Your middle tower is under attack.
Okay. Yes. Taste the wicked blade.
Still maintaining that level lead. We do have teleporting glyph. We're going to go ahead back and pick up the tier 2 of Contagion.
Be prepared.
Enemy missing left.
We're going to go ahead teleport back to tower.
Your right tower.
So we know tier has a decent amount of lifesteal. That's probably the main reason we're going into
They all
anti-heal right here. I'm sure Hachimon's going to have a little bit. Morgan Le Fay might have a little bit. We get our 2 off. Raijin's able to get the pick onto the tier. Bacchus is rotating over. We're going to go ahead and try to rotate, help our Nike. She jumps out. She's probably fully out, so we need to go back to lane and try to hit this minion wave.
Prepare, then execute.
I feel like our death so far was a good death, meaning like we worked for it. We worked to stay alive as much as possible, and we were able to get a pick whenever we died. Their jungler rotated over. We were able to kind of wiggle around. We had our wiggle shoes on under tower and able to get the pick onto that Tsukiyomi. Right here, we're going to try to proxy wave. Tier just blinks up. He pushes us under tower. We're going to try to proxy this as quick as possible, but I think we're actually going to bail on the proxy. Tsukiyomi is also here. We're going to go ahead and use our ultimate. We're very weak. A lot going on. We're somehow able to get the pick onto the tier.
step closer to victory.
We might even be able to get the pick onto the Tsukiyomi. We're going to position ourselves. Our ult gives us a lot of lifesteal. Up, here comes the Bacchus. Here comes Morgan Le Fay. We're going to look around as much as we can, but Morgan Le Fay is able to secure us.
Child, fight for me once more.
If you feel like you're about to go down, you definitely want to try to get your ultimate off because it has lifesteal. We went ahead and picked up Contagion. Contagion is going to provide us 60 physical protections, 150 health, 250 mana, and 15 MP5. It has a passive that enemy gods within 55 units have their healing reduced by 25%. This does not stack with similar auras. There is a solo lane start, which makes it to where you start on blue buff. However, I don't think Morgan Le Fay has the best early game secure. It would just take us a while. We'd lose a lot of health, so we did the normal start.
Ultimate is down.
Enemy missing middle.
Get a little bit of damage onto the tier. Try to hit him and the minion wave. We're able to. He's a fat archer section of his wave.
They all
We missed our 3. He's marked with 2 of the sigils. We try to hit him with the 3rd sigil on our 1. We get our 3 off. We get our 1 off. We're going to go ahead and use our ultimate. And we're able to secure the pick onto the tier.
Attack
gonna go ahead, rotate mid.
Enemy missing left. Enemy missing middle. Too bad.
Doesn't look like anyone's here. We were also told that enemy was missing mid, so we're gonna hit some farm and then rotate back to our lane to get some more farm.
An enemy has been slain.
On my way.
Now there's a decent group in mid. We saw them kind of going towards our side of the jungle, so we wanted to route safely, so we just peeled back. Takes a little bit longer, but it's definitely a little bit safer. We get our 2 off, we miss our 1, we get hit by the enemy 1. With Morgan Le Fay's passive, you do want to try to cycle and get all of the runes or sigils on the sword. We're taking a little bit of damage. The main reason is because it's going to reduce 10 seconds off of your ultimate. Tier's here. We're able to avoid his dash. We have our wiggle shoes on. We miss R1. Hit him with a 3. Ardio's getting the root. That's a Tier ultimate. We're going to activate our 2. We cast our 1, but we go down. We're going to pop our shell. We're going to go ahead and use our ultimate. Shoot our ultimate shots. We hit tier once, we got some good damage onto the Hachiman. Raijin's able to clean up the tier. We're going to rotate back, try to help this Ardio out. We get our 3 off. We're going to go ahead and activate our 2, activate our 1, and we're able to get a pick onto the Hachiman. So we definitely won that team fight. It's just this Bacchus left. We're going to try to direct our team towards the Gold Fury since we won that fight.
Be seeing you.
We are a solo laner, so we do want to try to tank things and position ourselves at the front line.
Be right back. That was terrible.
We're going to go ahead back, and we're going to be picking up Voidstone. Voidstone is going to provide us 150 health, 40 magical power, and 60 magical protections. It has a passive that enemy gods within 55 units have their magical protection reduced by 10%. This is going to be helpful because we have 3 magical characters on our team.
Enemy missing left.
We're going to go ahead and rotate to the blue, try to drop this bad boy.
Enemy missing middle.
On my way.
We're going to rotate to the fight in mid. We do have our ultimate.
No need for a spell when a
Another one.
Nike's able to get the pick onto 1. That's a enemy Morgan Le Fay ultimate.
Double kill.
Tsukiyomi goes down. That's 3 down on the enemy team. We definitely should push a tower or maybe even an objective. Hachiman rotates in. He goes down to the Raijin. Now it's just tier left.
Attention now.
We're going to go ahead and tank it. With Morgan Le Fay's too, I kind of wish you could cast it in front of her and like not just on her. Does that make sense? So like it's the same T shape, but you can cast it at a normal range of an ability. I think that would make her a little bit better. Ardio's in some trouble. We're going to rotate back. We do have her shell if she needs it. We get the fear off. He's about to get rooted. Nike's able to clean up 1. Right now we're trying to help our Ardio over trying to help the Nike.
Yet more remain.
be seen.
An
Bacchus is able to secure the pick onto the RDO. We're going to cast our ultimate just to make sure we secure this Bacchus, and we do.
Now,
Thorns from my side.
I think Morgan Le Fay's sword looks really cool, especially how it shows her passive on it.
Greetings.
I'm gonna go ahead and steal the enemy blue buff, rotate to the Greater Scorpion. This Greater Scorpion is gonna enhance our speed buff and our blue buff. The blue buff is gonna go from 10% cooldown reduction to 20% cooldown reduction.
Okay.
weakness cannot be tolerated.
Embrace the burning shroud.
We have 0 cooldown reduction in our build, so we do want to try to pick up blue as often as possible.
Taste the wicked blade.
Divinity awaits. We will rule them all.
We're just trying to get some poke onto this tier.
An enemy has been slain.
Tsukiyomi's here. Bacchus is also here. We're gonna go cast our ultimate. Get some lifesteal going. We cast our 1. We were able to survive. Our team has rotated over. Tsukiyomi goes down to Raijin. We're gonna fall back behind the comfort of our team.
Take down all who challenge you. You have their attention.
Raijin's able to get a double. Now it's just Bacchus left.
Ultimate is down.
An enemy has been slain.
We're able to secure the tier 2 tower. That's going to provide everyone some gold. Everyone on our team some gold.
Careful. Curse of agony.
We're going to go ahead back and pick up Ethereal Staff. Ethereal Staff, or E-Staff, is going to provide us 90 magical power, 200 health, 20% crowd control reduction. It has a passive that whenever you damage an enemy god with an ability, you're going to steal 8% maximum mana, as well as 6% maximum health from the target. These stats are going to remain stolen for 45 seconds, and targets affected can have multiple buffs and debuffs at once. This can only occur once every 15 seconds. So E-Staff is just kind of a good tanky item.
Nice job.
The 20% crowd control reduction is going to help if we get CC'd. So for example, if Tsukiyomi stuns us, or if Bacchus stuns us, and it's going to stun us for 1 second in our example, we're only going to be stunned for 0.8 seconds because of the 20% crowd control reduction. We should be able to secure this Fire Giant uncontested. It's a 5v3.
Retrieve its carcass. Incantations aren't cheap.
Enemy missing.
Be right back.
Attack the gold fury. Problems are
We're gonna go ahead, rotate to gold, just kind of secure every objective that we can. Right now, we're looking to group up as a team and push a Phoenix. It looks like a majority of our team's over in left. We want to push right, or I mean push middle up a little bit.
I admire your tenacity.
So that way we have pressure on 2 Phoenixes. I noticed that RDO is coming over to me. We're both tanks. I don't think both tanks need to be on the same Phoenix. So we're actually going to rotate over left and try to help out our damage characters. We're able to get the pick onto the Hachiman. We're in kind of a danger zone. We're going to keep falling back. We get tagged by Tsukiyomi ultimate. We're going to kind of keep wiggling, trying to keep their damage away from our characters. Tsukiyomi's absolute. We're going to use our 3 to get some increased movement speed, and Raijin's able to dash onto the Tsukiyomi, and the enemy team surrenders. Well, that is going to be the end of this one. If you enjoyed it, make sure you give it a thumbs up. That really helps these videos out. If you feel like you learned anything at all, check out the channel and subscribe for more content. These stats for this game will be posted in just a moment. Thank you for stopping by. I hope you have a great day. I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.